They were talking about the sales engineer's salary and commission and how this all works. Stay tuned. Hello, SE Nation. If you're wondering why there's a bed behind me, it's because I am at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas for our global sales meeting. If you don't know what that is, it's where a bunch of salespeople and product managers come together to talk about all the great stuff they're going to do next year. That's a summary of it, and we can discuss that at a later date. But today I really wanted to talk about how sales engineers get paid and what's the salary range that you would see. So in order to talk about that, there's a few terms that we need to cover. One, first off, we need to talk about what is on-target earning, OTE. So on-target earning is the amount of money that you would make once you hit your quota, and that is a pre-agreed upon salary between you and your manager or your company. And that changes and that differs from one company to another, and we'll discuss how that would differ in a second. On-target earning is made of different components, especially when it comes to sales engineering. It's made of a base and a commission. The base part is the salary that you agreed with your manager. And the commission is also the part you agreed with your manager, but is not guaranteed. So the base, you will get paid no matter what happened. The commission, you have to earn that one. And you earn it by selling stuff. So on-target earning would be commission plus base, or base plus commission, depending on how you want to see it. Now, sometimes you've heard of splits, like 70-30 or 80-20. That 70-30 or 80-20 is the commission and base, or base and commission. I keep mixing them up. Generally speaking, for SEs, the base is the higher number. So when you're talking about 80-20, the base is the 80 and the commission is the 20. When you're talking about 70-30, the base is the 70 and the commission is the 30. Salespeople get paid on a different structure, but for sales engineers, that is usually the structure that I've seen. I've even seen like 83-17 or 75-25. It differs from industry to industry, and generally speaking, from what I've seen, networking industry, the likes of Cisco, Nokia, it's an 80-20 split, and when you're going to like complex software sales, it is a 70-30 split. So like Box or Salesforce or Splunk, these are complicated software that require field sales engineers, and the splits are 70-30. And something we need to talk about are incentives and accelerators. So on-target earnings in most companies is not the maximum amount of money you can make. So let's say you're on a 70-30 split, and your total salary is $100K. So 70 is your base and 30 is your commission. And for every dollar or every percent of quota you sell, that's another term we need to figure out. Quota is the number that is provided by you by your upper management. Where they get that number is a conversation for a different story. But quota is based on like previous amounts of sales done by the company in your territory or your customers. Let's say the quota is 3 million, your on-target earning is 100,000 with a 70-30 split. So for every 10% of quota you sell, so let's say you sold $300,000 worth, you get paid 10% of your commission, which is $3,000, all the way up until you hit your quota. Once you hit your quota, you would have made the full $30,000. In some companies, once you hit your quota, you get a bonus. 5% of your base or 7% of your commission, whatever it is you agree to with your employer. So if you're doing $100,000 and you have a 5% base, 5% bonus for hitting your quota, that's $5,000. No, around $3,000. It's 5% of $70,000. I'll put the math on the screen somehow. And then on top of that, there's accelerators. You're earning 1% of quota for every 1% of commission for every 1% of quota that you sell. Beyond that, you could earn 1.5 or 2% or 3%. You can earn 2% up to like 120% of quota, and over that 3%. Depends from company to company, it changes. So let's say your company is offering 2% after you hit your quota, and you sold the same amount, 10% after that, after you hit your quota, which is $300,000 worth of products or solutions. That means instead of making $3,000, you've made $6,000. So the curve for your commission is no longer linear. It kind of goes geometrical, and you make more money. The more you sell, the more money you make. Most companies that I know don't cap how much you can make. So the sky is the limit. All right, salary ranges. That differs from the type of SE you are and which industry you work. So for inside sales engineers who are mostly there for software sales, like not complex software sales, those get paid, I think, from what I've seen, a maximum of 120K. But when you're talking networking, I've seen up to 150, 160, and software like Box and Salesforce get paid more, and AI and artificial intelligence and big data. Steven Schaefer was on my guest a while back, and he mentioned that a sales engineer who's been doing this for around 15 years gets paid between 190 to 250 on target. So sales engineers are some of the highest paid engineers from what I've seen here. And if you like that, this entices you, type in below SE Nation in the comments section. Let's get this done together. And reach out to me if you have any questions. If you don't know what a sales engineer is, there's a video for that. I will link it in the description as well. I will see you next time. Bye.